Hello and welcome back to the channel for another podcast with myself and the infamous Red Dead Panda. Hello, Red Dead. You
Hi
still playing?
guys.
Still playing SpongeBob?
Sadly, I am. For the achievements. I know
Yeah,
that's really
I know she's
shouldn't
into
say.
achievements. I hate achievements. I don't know if I've said it before, but I've turned them all off on my console. Anything to do with achievements, I've just switched them all off. I don't care. You don't actually switch them off, so you don't get them. You still get them. Oh, I just punched my mic off the screen, off the table. Yeah, I just don't care for them, so I don't want them on my screen. Yeah, it's like this little
Good start.
cheap mic. Right, so this episode we're going to go into our, like we did, we're going to give our opinions on the Xbox digital event that happened a few days ago. So there was a preview show sort of thing just before the main event. So we're going to skip over that, yeah? We'll skip past all that and we'll just do the hours Xbox focused event. But just so you'll know, I'll just quickly go through the games that are shown in the preview. There's Dragon Quest XI. There's Mecha, which looked really good actually. I like that. It looks kind of like Titanfall. I like the look of that. There was
Yeah,
Watch
I
Dogs
like the look of
Legion.
that too.
That looked really good. I'm going to definitely get that. Watch Dogs Legion. Echo Generation. Hello Neighbor 2.
Hello,
ID.
neighbor 3.
Yeah, Balan Wonderland, which that guy got really weirdly hyped about and said it's the best game shown. Wonderworld, I see, Wonderworld. Balan Wonderworld. Right, and that's it. And then the show started. We've opened with Halo Infinite. So let's get straight into it, shall we? A Halo Infinite, which has been also infamous lately on Twitter and everywhere, and its backlash it's getting. So let's start with Halo Infinite. Your impressions on Halo
Um,
Infinite?
I really enjoyed that. I wasn't really looking at all the graphics my first watch through, because I've watched it more than once. So when I first watched that, I realized graphics kind of as important as a lot of people think they are. I was more gameplay is more interesting to me, and it kind of came to the forefront when watching that. I was like, I'm really here
Oh,
for this gameplay. It looks impactful.
yeah,
It just even the sound was really good. Um, it just gave me what made me feel the way I felt when I played the first Halo. Like watching that, I was like, I'm here for this. And yes, there was pop in, and people were complaining about muddiness and like the game didn't look as nice as it should. But like I said, I didn't really care about the graphics. I was like, the gameplay looks solid,
yeah,
and it's still in development.
yeah.
So this game isn't coming out to the end of the year. So I think we've got plenty of time for them to polish that
Still
up and
4
make it
more
better.
months to work on it. Yeah,
Yeah, I was really, really excited for Halo, and, and quite impressed with what they had been doing. And I really just want to see the slip space engine like really
yeah,
take advantage of the Series X.
yeah.
Um, yeah. What about you?
Right, yeah. I'm not a big Halo fan, but this did look good. It reminded me, which is what everyone asked for. This is the thing; it's been criticised the way it looks, but all fans moaned about Halo 4 and 5 and demanded they want this type of Halo. Now they give it to them. It's like, we don't. It's not good enough. We don't want it. It just seems to be a case where you cannot win. Probably because it's on Xbox, that they're just going to hate on it regardless, whatever they did, whatever route they took. The game looked good. People complain about pop-ins, but the game, for one, I'd just like to highlight this game was started development about 5 years ago. It's not created specifically for the Xbox Series X. It's enhanced for the Xbox Series X. It wasn't made on the Xbox Series X. So what we're going to see is an enhanced version because this game was developed before the Xbox Series X was made. Um,
I think you brought up a good point about it being in development for the last 5 years because they have a brand new engine, so they
yeah,
had to create brand new assets for this game.
yeah,
So the whole past 5 years has not been them polishing this game
yeah,
in that sense. They're still making it.
yeah,
When you get a
exactly.
new engine, it means that takes a lot longer to develop a game.
Yeah. I
and
mean,
people just don't seem to understand how game development works.
yeah, it's weird that they don't seem to allow Xbox. They just assume Xbox games should be churned out every year, but then complain if they don't come out good quality when they're rushed. However, they seem to give like Sony games, which generally take 5 to 6, even 7 years, like The Last of Us 2, 7 years to make, and then they praise them for it. It's a weird
Mm,
concept that Halo can take as long as they want, do whatever they want. Sony can do whatever they want, take as long as they want. It's fine. Xbox games, we want to see them as quick as possible, but they also have to be perfect as well. We want to see games every year, and they have to be up to the quality of Sony games, which take us 7 years to make. It's a weird, unrealistic
yeah.
comparison, really. But yeah, the game looked great.
Yeah.
I liked a lot of the mechanics.
It, it,
The car driving looked brilliant, and things like the jumping and stuff looked fantastic. Especially when the car landed and you see the figure kicking what do you call it? Oh man, the suspension. When you see the suspension kicking, that was brilliant. Stuff like that. The
oh, yeah.
particles are mad. And that's what you think, we've got to take in. People comparing it to Ghost of Tsushima. On Ghost of Tsushima, it doesn't have nowhere, which is a really weird comparison, it doesn't have anywhere near the amount of on-screen action that's going on. Ghost of Tsushima compared to Halo, everything's gone on. You've got guys shooting from all over the place. You've got particles flying everywhere. You've got wildlife and things flying about everywhere. You've got remember, the game's massive. They said it's twice as big. The world is twice as big as 2 Halo games combined. So the world's massive, and they even went into it where they showed the world and you can go around. It looks like, sort of like, in a way, sort of these games where you can choose where you want to go around the world and go and do missions around the world and do stuff. Kind of like, I suppose, like how they've made the Assassin's Creeds like nowadays, or Witcher, or I'm playing State of Decay 2 at the moment. Like State of Decay 2, where you can
Yep.
go into your map, you can pick a location, go, right, I'm going to go there and explore there. You've got complete freedom to do.
And
You've
then
got
go
this,
there and do it.
go there and do it, and solve missions there, and that's going to come in the game. You have to take out places and do stuff. The game is
Yeah.
absolutely massive. Um,
It looks a bunch of fun, and I think for the people who were saying that 343 hasn't really made a Halo game that felt like Halo, I think this is
it.
going to
Everyone wanted it. This is the game everyone
really,
asked for, basically.
yeah, this is the game everyone
You
asked
wanted
for.
elites,
I
you
mean,
wanted brutes, you've got 'em. You wanted grunts,
yeah.
you've got 'em. You wanted the flood, they've most probably been it as well.
um, I think if you want to turn around and go, is this a Halo game? It definitely is a Halo game. It looks like a Halo game.
Yeah.
It's got that feeling of awe, like when you first played Halo and came into that world and you were like, I want to go and explore. And now you actually have a world that is built for exploring.
Yeah.
You're going to get Halo Combat Evolved
Open
vibes that
world,
people are
yeah.
talking.
Open
And
world Halo.
I think people just need to realize that this whole game showcase that Xbox did for the July event was set up under the same parameters that Sony's was. In the
Yeah.
sense that the pandemic happened, they are limited in what they can do, and they're also limited in what they can show, so they're working with the developers during this trying time. So it's never going to be perfect. People seem to be holding Xbox to a different standard.
Yeah.
This is E3 level quality. You guys didn't reach it. It's like, no, it isn't, because they couldn't do anything that they would usually do for E3.
You're touching a good point there. Phil did come out a
Yeah.
while back and said Halo will be done on time. The dev teams are working from home. They're working from home making this game to get it done.
Well,
To
ray
make sure it's
tracing
done.
isn't coming at launch because I think COVID has pushed it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I think. I think that is exactly why we're not getting ray tracing. But I don't care about ray tracing right now.
No.
I will
No one's
care
not.
about it
Yeah.
when it's in the game because I can still enjoy the game.
No one's going to go, I'm not going to play this game about ray tracing. Yeah. Because we did have it last gen. And I'm pretty sure no one's going to be demanding ray tracing on all Sony games. But this is the other thing they're
No,
comparing
they're
it.
not.
It's a launch game. The most important thing to take from it is a launch game. We've seen gameplay, a lot of gameplay, from a very impressive launch game. If you're going to compare to Sony have not shown any gameplay from any of their AAA launch games yet. Spider-Man, they showed a small cutscene, but it had no gameplay in it. And, in comparison, that's also released in 4 months' time, but Sony has shown no gameplay, which you've got to wonder why Sony has shown no gameplay of the launch games.
Well, if they'd showed gameplay, I think it would have been in the same boat that Halo
Exactly.
was coming and being
Exactly.
critiqued,
Yeah.
because remember the whole Puddlegate. But aside from Sony, I was really impressed with Halo showing, and I really want to play that game. And I'm going to be getting my Series X as I always planned.
Yeah.
I planned on getting it before the Xbox showcase. I'm still planning on getting it afterwards because this game is coming to Game Pass. Like
Yeah.
I have pre-ordered Cyberpunk 2077. I do not need to pre-order Halo because it's coming with Game
Yeah.
Pass.
Exactly. So day one we will be getting 2 games, or minimum two
Yeah,
games.
minimum. There you go.
And well, that's the thing they highlighted, which Alana recently touched on in one of her videos. It's very interesting. She went on to say, uh, yes, all games shown, as a reminder, all games shown at this digital event were all going to Game Pass day one. So all the games we're about to read off and go through are all going to Game Pass day one. That's a thing you've got to take on board when considering buying a console, buying games that these are £60 games you won't be spending £60 on. So if Xbox
Yep.
drops 3 games in a year, which each cost £60, that's £180 you're saving yourself already from the get go. So
I think
which is
Halo's been haloed to death.
yeah. Let's move on to the
So
next game, which blew my mind. Didn't expect this whatsoever. This was really kept under wraps. State of Decay 3.
by Undead Labs, yeah.
Yeah, no one was calling this, and I've been arguing with people for ages about Undead Labs has been turned into a AAA studio, and everyone's saying no, they're not, they're indie. They were indie. The games were good games. I've gone playing State of Decay 2, and the game is really good now. When it launched, it wasn't polished, but Xbox didn't own them then. They own them now, and this game looks absolutely incredible. It reminded me sort of like a polished version of Days Gone. It looked brilliant. The cutscenes looked brilliant.
They owned them at launch, but they hadn't they had just put money into them, right?
Uh,
They hadn't done
did they
anything
own at launch?
officially,
I'm not too sure.
other than put money into them. Or did they
Alright.
get them after launch? Actually,
I'm
don't
pretty sure.
know.
I'm pretty sure it's
Can't
after
remember. Who
launch.
cares?
We'll
That's
look at
not the
this.
point of this.
No.
I was
Yeah.
quite impressed with the CGI trailer showing. I think it's kind of giving a show of like, we heard what you guys said.
Yeah.
We got all your feedback. We're going to make a game that's worthy of our fans.
I'm gonna see if I can get to
Yes,
work
it's
play on my
CGI
screen.
trailer, and there's no gameplay in there. But I
Yeah.
think it kind of gave it an idea. Like this game could be quite, what's the word? Make you feel alone.
Yeah.
Because in a world full of zombies, there aren't that many humans around. It's in a snow setting, so maybe bringing like dynamic weather in or seasons in, who knows? And then bringing in the animals that can be zombified as well.
Yeah.
I think they've they've sort of put a seed in to go watch for this game if you're a State of Decay fan. If you're not a State of Decay fan, this game's going to be for you as well. So
Yeah.
um, wait till we get some gameplay.
I'm watching
See what
the.
they're doing around it. I think
Yeah.
it's an early development,
Oh,
but
it is.
I'm
Yeah.
intrigued by it.
I'm watching the trailer now. The graphics are absolutely outstanding. Absolutely incredible. Um, yeah, it's on par. Remember, this is Undead Labs that have made this, who are apparently an indie studio. This is on par with anything we've seen um,
Well,
this
if you
generation.
go back and have a look at the State of Decay 2 announcement trailer,
Yeah.
how does that compare to the State of Decay 3 announcement trailer? If you want to bring that up.
Yeah.
That's, I guess, my comparison. Yes, the State of Decay 2 trailer was really cool, but it didn't feel gritty the way State of Decay 3 felt. Very dark and gritty.
Yeah. Yeah.
You could really tell that this was going to be a much more intense and single player game. Yes, they'll still have most likely co-op in there to some degree.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you? It's fun. It's better to play games with each other than alone. Experience things together.
That's what is interesting. I think it looks like it's a new take. Oh yeah, because the trailer shows a lone person just walking around the wilderness. So I just wonder if they're going to try to. I think they're going to go with the MMO version of it, and that's why I think you're just playing a lone person. I think it's going to be more MMO based, and you just wander around the world on your own, just trying to survive and build your own base, blah blah blah, just like old State of Decay. and then there'll be other players in it, and I think that's why it just shows a lone person walking around. I don't think it's going to be like a single player game. That's why it's showing it. I think it's actually going to be like an MMO, which would be fantastic. Which I think a lot of people asked for, which is what they were sort of trying to do anyway with the last one, where they sort of made it a co-op thing, but it wasn't full co-op, was it? You had to invite people into your game to help you out on missions. But I think this is going to be more freely open for just players to walk around the massive world and just survive and build and stuff. And probably recruit other
Yeah.
players and you just build a thing together, which would be interesting.
I mean, like going back to this fact that people are gonna consistently say it's CGI, it's CGI, it's CGI.
Mm.
Look at the difference between the two trailers.
Yeah.
Yes, they're both CGI, but one is on another level,
Yeah.
and you can tell that they are going to put a lot more effort into this game because they have that funding, they have the resources, they can go around and speak to the other Xbox studios and go,
Yeah.
how did you do this? Do you have any tips here? And those sort of things. So they can really develop as a developer themselves and pump out this amazing game.
Yeah. Agreed. Should we move on?
Yep.
Forza Motorsport, which I notice is called Forza Motorsport now.
Yeah. Technically, it's number 8.
I think it's like a soft reboot. They've dropped the number, so it's not Forza Motorsport 8. I think it's just like a soft reboot. So it's Forza Motorsport, and they're starting it from the game again from the beginning. That's why I just think it's called Forza Motorsport.
Did you rewatch this in 4K 60 as well?
No, that's another massive point. Yeah, it just says it down here. That's a big point that people are missing, especially on the Halo game. That a lot of the stuff they showed was streamed 1080p 60. If you go back and watch the 4K version, which the majority of people are not doing, they're just complaining because they're a bit
at the 1080p 60.
They're a bit dim. Yeah, go back and watch the 4K version, 60 FPS of Halo, and all these games. Just like Sony did exactly the same thing. Their show ran at 1080p 30, and they've done a 4K 30 version afterwards. Xbox did the same, but 4K 60 version afterwards. Go back and watch that before you make any decisions or give any opinions on what it's going to look like.
I did that. It was only fair. I did it with Sony. I was like, I didn't enjoy the stream quality. I felt like it took away from the games and the impact that the games are going to have for me. So I went back and rewatched them in better quality, and my second time watching it, I picked up on things I didn't notice before.
Yeah.
You could the quality meant it was much more easy for me to kind of sit through a game.
Well, they look good.
I could see a lot more. They looked a lot more decent.
The issue is that they're 30 FPS. I think that's the issue on everyone's minds on the Sony games. Yeah, they look good. They're 4K. They look good. Great looking games, but they're all still 30 FPS.
With the Forza Motorsports, what were your impressions on Forza Motorsport?
I'm not a big racing fan, and it didn't show any gameplay. And if it did, it still wouldn't impress me that much. I'm glad the Forza games are a massive franchise, sort of like the Gran Turismo games, and they sort of took the crown in recent years. But yeah, well done. It's come back. You know, we're going to get it free on Game Pass. I think you're a big racing fan, though, aren't you? So
I do love racing games, yes. But I think it's key that it was announced that this game is in early development, and people were going, but it's been almost 3 years since the last Forza Motorsports game released. So usually you would be thinking this would be releasing end of the year or probably beginning of next year. But I think if you look at the actual trailer and the quality, because watching that in 4K, and I heard someone was watching impressions and other people's reactions to the videos and other showcases, and some person said that they actually thought that they were looking at a real office or a real environment when you start seeing the cars at the beginning and the people walking through, and then they realized it was the engine graphics. So I think just looking at the quality of what that engine can do, because it looks like it's a new engine, or at least an upgraded engine to take full advantage of next.
Well, they've got a symbol. So Xbox showed a symbol for quite a few of their games. Optimized for Series X. That's a symbol you need to look out for. That means it's made on the Series X. So you will see a dramatic change for games optimized for the Series X. So So you'll see the difference.
I've
So there's no point complaining about the games that don't have that symbol saying they're not made on the Series X. No, that's probably because they probably started production development before the Series X was made. So it's
yeah,
a
well,
new point.
optimized is more along like we're optimizing it, like
Yeah,
because obviously the game might have started production before Series X
yeah,
came around, but but just looking at the quality of the assets in there and everything like that, I'm actually quite what's the word? I'm actually looking forward to seeing when we get to see gameplay for this game because I
yeah,
think it's taken it to another level.
yeah,
And I don't think we're going to be prepared for what Forza Motorsports is going to look like
yeah, and
because that is going to be
yeah,
a very what's the word? That's going to be one of the like um,
yeah,
games that really showcase the power and the 12 teraflops,
yeah,
as people like to put. The fact that this showcase didn't show the 12 teraflops, I think this game is going to be one that does show it when it releases. And another side note, a lot of the games that showed had just Xbox Series X and PC. They didn't all have
yeah,
Xbox One and releasing at the same time.
yeah.
But yeah, I'm keen. I wish we got some snippet of gameplay for that. That would have just been that little bit of extra cherry on top of seeing a new looks like a new engine or at
Yeah.
least an update.
Well, that's the silly fake argument. Forza, they were accused of being milked before. Now they're taking longer to make the games. It's why is it taking so long? It must be trash. So that's another example you can't win. If they release them every year, it's milked. If they don't release them every year, it's trash. It's incredible. All right, so let's move on. Everwild.
This was one of my favourites for the show.
Yeah, this looks great.
Still have no idea
I'm gonna
what that
play
game
this
is
trailer.
about, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm gonna play this trailer if I can.
This game looked so good in 4K. I mean, it looked good in the 1080p stream,
Yeah, yeah.
but it looked so
This
good
game.
in 4K.
And people have been getting it rare a lot. I don't know why. They've said they've been held back by Microsoft, which is absolute nonsense. And they made Sea of Thieves, which is trash. Even though it's got 15 million players, it had 3 million players in June alone. But apparently it's trash. But, I mean, gamers are saying otherwise.
Yeah, it didn't release. They didn't put their best foot forward when they released Sea of Thieves,
Yeah.
let's be honest. But it is a game that was going to be growing, and we knew that it was going to be growing and becoming what it is today. I just think people didn't give it the chance to turn into that.
Yeah.
But watching that trailer, because we got a snippet of it at what XO19 last year.
Yeah.
Watching the trailer for Everwild, the new one, I literally was like, "This feels we're going back to Rare's roots. This feels like a game that I have to play," and it was one of my favourites.
You see, it looks a bit like Zelda.
Oh, with the type of art style.
Zelda vibes, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And
But it looked intriguing.
Yeah.
I so want to go explore that.
Still unsure about
Some,
if what the point of the game is, because you sort of be healers and you do, but if there's any combat or any, so is it? We still got to see that the actual gameplay where it involves more of what you're actually doing. But otherwise, the graphic wise, it looked fantastic. It looked beautiful. The world looked interesting. There was lots of world sort of. Also, someone said it reminded them like Avatar. You know, the Avatar cartoon sort of was just dreamy world with just sort of mixed weird sort of creatures and things. It's sort of weird. It looked like there's that big sort of bison thing, wasn't there? There's like a big long float thing.
I'll give you
Very interesting.
a comparison here. So think of Everwild and
Yeah.
the fact that we don't know what it's about.
Yeah.
Do you still want to continue watching and know what it's about?
Yeah.
Is it engaged you enough?
Oh, yeah,
for the fact that
definitely.
you wanna actually spend time following that game.
Yeah.
Think of the first trailer you saw for Death Stranding, the second trailer you saw for Death Stranding, the fourth trailer, etc., etc. I was like, first trailer, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
Second trailer, still have no idea. Third trailer, no one knew what the game
Yeah.
was right up until right before it released, and then they found out it was a walking simulator where you delivered parcels, basically, with some like 20 hours of videos.
Yeah.
Felt
exactly.
like.
There was a lot of trailers with nothing in it. Yeah.
It was a game where I didn't care. I didn't want to invest in that because the game world didn't inspire me or talk to me or anything like that.
Yeah.
But Everwild, colourful, like animals in it, it just spoke to me, and I was like, this is a game that I could really spend some time in
Chilling
if
out.
they actually tell me what the gameplay is, what the point of the game is. But I still would go out and just bum around with that game anyway because it looks so fun and vibrant to explore.
Yeah. Right, let's move on. Tell me why.
So
I mean, just tell me why it's a game,
tell
not tell me why to
me
move on.
why.
Yeah, tell me why. Do you
Tell
remember
me why
that?
this was an Tell me why this was an Xbox's showcase event.
Yeah.
Tell me why, guys. Um, I do want to play that game. Apparently, it's the first game which is going to have like a proper transgender character in it because they're.
Are they?
But it's releasing on August 27th. I will give that game a go because it's coming to Game Pass.
Is this
Don't know
first party?
No,
Oh,
no,
it's not.
not
Okay.
first party.
Right. Yeah.
It's coming to Xbox One, PC, and Game Pass, and it's also going to come to Series X. Um, Not much more. We've seen a lot of trailers on that. I don't really have much more to say other than I'm going to play
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I'm probably not gonna play it. It looks like what's the Strange Days? Also, there's story. There's a couple of weird stories. Games like this on Xbox.
They
What's it
were the
called?
same people who did that game that you're talking about. I can't think
Yeah,
of
I can't
it
think of his
right
name
now.
now. It's Strange something, isn't it? I can't remember.
Something Storm, right?
Oh, I can't remember now.
All
Yeah,
right.
let's move on.
But yeah,
Right, Ori and the Will
we
of the
we
Wisp.
both know we're talking about the same
Yeah,
game.
yeah. Ori and the Will of the Wisp. We'll skip over this because well, the game's released. They just really showcase that they're bringing out a 4K native 120 FPS version,
Yeah, it's
which
releasing
and all
sometime in
new audio
2020.
technology. Yeah, all new audio technology. It says so. Yeah, there's Ori and the Will of the Wisp 120 FPS version. The Outer Worlds, right? It showed a
Oh, I was just gonna
expansion.
say, do you reckon the new audio technology is taking advantage of the Series X capability with the
Yes, I think it will. Yeah,
dedicated sound hardware for
yeah,
it?
most likely. Yeah, it says it's got the optimized for Xbox Series X version in the top corner.
Yep.
Right,
Next one.
Outer Worlds, which is just expansion to the game, and it's been in. So this is not, as it says above, optimized. This one's not got it, so it's just enhanced. This is getting an Xbox enhanced version, so it will just look better than the regular game. And what they showed, it did look much cleaner, much sharper than the original game. So
It's
this
coming. Yeah.
Outer Worlds looks good. Um, if you've not played
Yeah,
this game, play it.
Peril
This is in
Gorgon.
Game Pass and it's fun. Yeah,
Yeah, coming out September 9th, Peril Gorgon will be coming to Series X. It's the first part of their DLC expansion. There's still
yeah.
another one to come. Um, I will
No,
go back and play it. To be honest, I didn't finish the first one
no, I
because
didn't finish the
I
first
was
one
so busy.
because yeah, lots of
But
other
I
games.
enjoyed it.
Yeah, I enjoyed
Not
it.
too
It
many.
is yeah, it is very much Fallout-esque. But then they did make Fallout New Vegas, so and Obsidian working other tiles. They're working on loads. They're like Ninja Theory. The Obsidian are really busy though, and they're working on tons of stuff. Let's move on.
Yep. Next one.
Grounded. Uh,
That was
Grounded got a new
hilarious.
trailer to remind everyone what it's all about. Yeah, that looked great. The trailer was very
Like,
comical. It didn't take itself too seriously because everyone seems to be hating it for some reason because it has to
Grounded
look
got
like
a new
Last of Us
trailer
2. Yeah.
to tell you to play Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know.
That was
I like the bit about
that was
you can either play with a group or you can feed your friends to the spiders and play solo. And it showed the guy
that was
literally
so good.
running past the
I
spider and
laughed.
leaving his friend dead on the floor.
Yeah, I laughed so hard at that trailer because I wasn't expecting it whatsoever.
Yeah,
Even the jokes that they mentioned in it, like they know exactly what this game is, but
yeah,
people like it. I'm looking forward to this game. What is it? Game preview on
yeah,
July 28th, so what, 3 more days?
yeah,
You and I are going to play it.
yeah, definitely.
But
This is Obsidian as well, isn't it?
it is Obsidian. It
Yes,
is Obsidian.
so that's two games right off the bat there by Obsidian. They're working on.
Yeah, I actually woke up my sister who was asleep at the time because it was 4 in the morning
Yeah,
when I was watching this,
yeah,
and she's like, "Can you be quiet?" I'm like, "I'm so sorry." And then I told her in the morning after I got up that
yeah.
this was the trailer I was laughing at.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, if you wanna if you wanna buy the best game this generation or something, or what is it, if you wanna buy the number Well, no, if you want to buy the biggest
Oh,
game
if you want to play
this
the
year,
what is it?
buy Cyberpunk
Game of the
2077.
year, like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
game, something about the game of the year type
yeah.
thing, then play
If,
Cyberpunk 2077.
yeah. But if you want to play this game,
Yep, they knew exactly their audience. It was so good. Avowed.
yeah, let's move on. Another game by Obsidian. That's the third game by Obsidian they're making. This looks good. Let me show the trailer for this if I can get it to working. Now this going in the
This
background while waffling.
game, I was hoping we would get to see this, and then Matt Booty
Didn't
at
work.
the end goes on and confirms that this is the game that Obsidian told them they wanted to make when they decided to um, acquire them as a studio.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It was so. Yeah, no, go.
This is basically the game that sold Obsidian to Xbox. It wasn't Grounded. It wasn't Outer Worlds. Even though
Outer Worlds.
they was working on those games, it was this. And this is going to be a Skyrim-esque, Elder Scrolls Skyrim-esque game, which is only coming out for the Xbox Series X and PC. It's not coming out for Xbox One. And I'm hoping this will be multiplayer, but you probably won't. But this looks really good.
Spoiler alert.
It does look like Elder Scrolls. What's gone? You got a spoiler.
Spoiler alert. It's probably going to be released before Elder Scrolls 6
Oh wow! Oh dear.
because of how long it takes Bethesda to
Yeah, to
game.
make anything, do anything, and then make their games work.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
But because what they're using a new engine as well. But Avowed. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah. This I like Skyrim. I do like Skyrim games. I love those kind of games. I do get bored with single player games, so when I played Skyrim, I couldn't complete it. It's got boring. But if it's multiplayer, most definitely. But I'll definitely play this, and it's on Game Pass, so why wouldn't I play it? That's the beauty of Game
Yeah.
Pass. That I
Yep.
probably wouldn't necessarily spend £60 on it if it was single player. But if it's in Game Pass, I'm gonna download it.
I love RPGs. One of my favorite gaming genres, RPGs.
Yeah,
Can't get enough of them. Sword in one hand, magic in the other.
yeah,
You sold me right then and there,
yeah,
instantly. Don't need to tell me anything more than I can have a sword and I can have magic at the same time, and it's Obsidian making the game. Like I if this even if this wasn't on Game Pass, I would be like, here's my money today.
yeah.
I'll pre-order it right now. It's going to be a few years away, obviously, but
And
just a glimpse of
yeah,
what the possibility is, knowing this quality of this developer,
yeah.
what's not to like?
And Obsidian are famous for making RPG games. That's what they made. Their background is this style of game. So before people think, oh, they're branching off to something new, actually no. Things like Grounded is something new for them. That's more like a little fun project they're doing. They're big on RPGs. They're really good at making RPG games. If you look for their history. So
Well,
this,
they made what? The best Fallout New Vegas.
yeah, yeah. But they also made I can't remember the other RPGs they made. They made some other top RPGs. But should we move on?
Yep.
As Dusk Falls. Can you remember this? A Dusk Falls is a unique drama. Oh, it's sort of like a television series. Is it? And this is first party, isn't it?
No,
It's not. I can't remember who it's made by.
just a new studio. They didn't say anything about
Yeah.
it being an acquisition or anything.
So this is like a
Um,
Telltale game, isn't it? Really?
I don't know what it's going to be like. It looked interesting. I
Yeah.
like the art style. It's coming to the Series X and PC.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe going to come to PS4 and I mean, maybe going to come to PS5 at a later date. Who knows? Um, I think it was a good showing for its first trailer and the fact that it's a brand new studio. So if a brand new studio can deliver the quality
Yeah.
that is
Yeah.
what this trailer was, um, I'm impressed.
Talking of brand new studios releasing, well, not really brand new, but releasing quality games, we're going to go on to. They've got here Hellblade 2, even though they showed no Hellblade 2 gameplay. Um,
All they
so
announced was they've
they should,
picked the location, but you could tell they'd picked the location. And to go watch another video on YouTube, and bringing you
yeah,
into watching their their dev diaries like they did for the first one
Yeah,
I played.
yeah. There's some clicking at your end. What's that?
Sorry, I'm playing with a pen. I'm a
Oh,
fidgety,
I could hear
and
it clicking.
literally, if I'm not playing video games with and like playing something in a controller, which is why I play video games, I'm a massive fidgeter.
Yeah.
So sorry. But my, what are your thoughts about why we didn't get any gameplay
Right, I
and
reckon
additional info
because
from
it seemed like a
Activision?
filler. It seemed weird. They just come on screen and just said, "Thank you for supporting Hellblade One." Because a lot of people said it done rubbish and they're a rubbish studio, blah blah blah. I just like to highlight, which come out in their stats recently, 500 copies of the game. 500 people played it on PlayStation 4. 500,000 people played it on PlayStation 4. 500,000 played it on PC. 2 million played it on Xbox. So
Do you know
yes,
why
it's
2
had
million
over
played it on Xbox?
because it's on Game Pass.
Yes.
So people go, yeah, but that's only on Game Pass. Yes. Your point being,
It sold what, 3.5 million copies worldwide?
yeah, it's a massive success. The game was brilliant, thanks to Xbox. That's thanks to Game Pass, and this is why people are going to Game Pass. Otherwise, it wouldn't have had. It would have just bombed like it did on PC and PS4. This is why they've gone to Xbox. And the reason for why I think they didn't show anything, I think, as I said, they look like I think they was going to show something, but I reckon it might have been pulled. And I reckon after Sony, because obviously they must have thought their show was lackluster. After Sony announced they're going to do an August show now, I think Xbox thought, yeah, we're going to do an August show as well then, just to sort of, you know what I mean? So I reckon there was going to be gameplay, but they've pulled it out and they're going to delay the gameplay for this now for the August show. I reckon we'll definitely see gameplay in the August show.
I think we could.
Yeah,
I think we definitely could see gameplay in August.
because by
I
August
think
it's been at we know they've been developing it for a year because the last trailer we see was around
at
November,
least a
was
year,
it?
yeah.
Yeah, so at least a year.
Because well, with Ninja Theory, in the sense like we didn't get much from them. Um, I also think because of this whole virus, their this well Hellblade stories are very heavy on mocap.
Yeah,
Right? So I don't think that they could do mocap during all of this.
yeah,
So maybe they weren't as far in as they could be.
yeah, exactly.
They're probably getting back into mocap now.
Yeah,
But I
mocaps.
think that's probably been a
Yeah,
big part of the reason why we may not have seen it just yet, because it's pushed out their development time.
mocap's
Um,
the thing they put the little cameras on people, the little sensors.
yep, and
Yeah, just for people what listening.
motion
Yeah,
capture, yeah.
yeah.
But I mean, you saying that they're probably holding it to
I
August.
reckon they hold it to August now.
Xbox's
I
event
reckon they
and
was going to
Sony
show it.
announced it.
They pulled it and said
Yeah,
just say thank you and announce how many players you've got, blah blah, and we're going to show your game and give it more time in August. I reckon.
I mean, who did I watch where someone was asking about August events for Xbox, and then like Major Nelson was like, we'll announce something later at the day. And I'm like, you guys know there's an August event because
Yeah,
you guys said this is going to be the year of Xbox
yeah,
2020, where there'll be something on each month,
yeah,
and next month Xbox is going to have something on. The month after Xbox is going to have something. It's just when are they going to announce it?
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
yeah, but they're going head to head with Sony, so I think they are trying to pull their punches a little bit
yeah,
and make sure that they have something to
yeah. Because
answer
after, yeah,
every time Sony shows something.
yeah. So let's move on to Psychonauts 2. I've never played these games. Didn't really interest me. I don't really like these kind of games. It's interesting that Jack Black's on board helping them develop it. This is a first party game, isn't it?
Yes, what's his name? Tim Schafer from God. I can't think of the name of the
Come on.
studio.
This is why
Yes.
you're on the team. I need your brain for stuff like this. You should know everyone.
Yeah, Tim Schafer, the head of it. I can't think of the name of the studio at the moment, but Psychonauts 2. Yeah, I haven't played the first one. Did it come out on the 360? I think it might have come out on the
Yeah, I think it
360.
did. Yeah,
But this one is smart delivery as well.
yeah.
Xbox One, Series X, PC. It looked interesting. Um, I remember seeing the original one, and you could just see like the difference between
Oh, you can see a
the
difference,
game
yeah.
in previous gen and
Yeah.
this gen, or this coming gen, it's going to be a lot better. Well, it looks a lot better. I don't know. It just felt like someone was, say this, heavy on LSD while watching, while making this. But some games are like that.
Yeah.
I'll give it a go. I don't know how much I will like it though, but
Yeah,
you know, the first game was
somewhat
really
can.
good, so I might really like it. Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah, I've got not much to say about it. I don't like it. I like the Jack Black's sort of in it and doing the music for it, which is interesting. But that's about it. Should we move on?
Yes, this is
Destiny
going to run
2.
until the end of time, until I can remember
Right, what they
who the
showed here
studio
was, we
is.
won't spend too much time on Destiny 2, but they're optimizing it for the Xbox Series X. It's going to go into Game
4K
Pass
60.
with all the DLC plus the new DLC they're working on will go to Game Pass day one, which is amazing because their
Did
DLC
they,
usually costs about £100.
did
So
they 100% confirm the new DLC? I know they said everything that they've released so far, but I don't know if they confirmed
I'm pretty
100%
sure it
the
did. Yeah,
new
because
DLC was
they
definitely
said
confirmed.
everything shown is going to Game Pass day one, and also I'm pretty sure they said it in the thingy. I'm pretty sure they said including the new DLC. Then they showed a glimpse of the new DLC. I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
Yeah, I know. I remember them saying like everything that has been released so far, but I have to
Yeah.
rewatch it
But this
before I
advert what I'm
give
looking
the
at,
actual.
which the advert I'm looking at is the DLC for it. It's not showing. It's not Destiny 2. It's Destiny 2 Beyond Light, which is the new DLC.
Mm.
So and it says Destiny 2 is coming to Game Pass with the Beyond Light DLC. And this is being
Let me
optimized
tell
for
you.
4K 60, so it'll be running 4K native 60 FPS on the Xbox Series
So what
X.
I'm going to do is I'm going to sell my physical Destiny 2 copy back in and put that towards my Series X. Won't be
Exactly.
worth much now, but you know,
Nah.
might as well get something for nothing. Yeah.
I binned mine. I didn't even sell it, I snapped it and threw it up the bin. I didn't like the game. But I might revisit it in 4K 60 because it did look more polished and maybe it's a game we can get into and have fun with.
Yes. Yeah.
So I don't mind those style of games. I hope the sort of the story was too short, but I don't mind playing those kind of games I might play. I couldn't play them on my own, I get bored. Let's move on to Stalker 2. I didn't know there was a Stalker 1, but let's look at the story of the Stalker 2.
I
Looks
didn't know about
stunning.
Stalker 1 either.
No. This is not
That.
first. I'm not sure if this is first party. This is not, is
Nope,
it? It's
not
timed
first party.
exclusive. Yeah, it's a console launch exclusive, so it's coming to Xbox and PC first before it goes to PS5. This looks really good. I'm gonna see. I'm not my the trailer's not really working at the moment. There's some sort of
This
issue.
game
Let's see if
looked
the trailer works.
really
No,
good.
not. Yeah, this looked really good.
It looked stunning. Um, yeah, and I don't know how like people really need to go back and rewatch the Xbox
Yeah,
show and actually look at the quality and the diversity of the games because people have been asking for the games.
yeah,
And Xbox showed here's a whole
another
series of
game.
games. Xbox has no RPGs. Xbox has blah
Yeah,
blah blah. Now they do.
yeah,
So really go back and rewatch the show and actually look at the individual games and make a decision, your own decision as to whether or not you liked it,
yeah.
rather than letting other people's
Tell you.
opinions change that for you. Because
Yeah.
at the end of the day,
Look at
Elite
each
One is
game.
just giving
Yeah,
our own opinion.
yeah.
It's going to be different. We don't always agree on the same things.
No,
How can you with two different people? We're just
we're
voicing
not sheep.
our opinions right now.
Yeah. And I mean, and we done. You can go back. We done our opinions on the Sony show as well. So, and we're gonna next week we're gonna try to do a show on both. So we're gonna go through the both conferences and give our opinion and an overall score on both shows based on what was shown, the game shown. We're just gonna go through everything. We'll explain it later in the next series, but because we don't want to spend it on this. So let's move on. Shall we? Stalker 2. We like the look of that. It looked fantastic. And it's timed
Yeah,
exclusive
I
to
won't be
Xbox
playing
One
it
for a
though
year,
because
I
it
imagine.
will probably be scary.
Okay. Warhammer 40k 4000 Darktide. This is not first party, but another console exclusive, I believe. It's not first party, is it? I don't know what's first party.
No, definitely not first party. No,
Yeah,
but it is
they
coming to
should put a
Game
first party. Yeah, Game Pass
Pass.
day one. So yeah, we're in this releases. We don't have to pay any money for it. Everyone on Xbox. This looks great. They say it could possibly be like a one of those 4-player co-op games, sort of like Evolve or The Predator hunting
Is
grounds, which absolutely
Vermintide
bombed. Or
is Vermintide in the Warhammer um
yes, I think so. Yes,
ser- well, I love Vermintide,
yeah, and that's
so
on Game
I
Pass as well,
think
isn't it? I believe.
definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah, and that was a multiplayer game. That was
yeah,
so much fun.
yeah.
Um, so I think I'll have a bit of a blast playing this game. It looked pretty good. My sister said it as soon as she saw it. She was like, I could tell it was a Warhammer game. They
Yeah,
have a very specific aesthetic on all their games. I'm like,
yeah.
yes, they do.
Right, let's move on then. Tetris.
Your, yep, I heard this was your favorite game of the show, right?
It was. Now, what's funny about that? People digging at Tetris, right? What's the irony of this? They don't understand. Is firstly, I believe this was well, they said, oh, they've shown Tetris at their conference, right? Firstly, I'd just like to remind Sony fanboys that Tetris, you also hyped up Tetris VR a couple of years ago for PSVR. There was a Tetris PSVR game, which you hyped up. Secondly, Tetris oddly won a Game Award for Best Multiplayer Game last year. So over games like Gears of War 5 and stuff, yeah, Tetris was nominated for the best multiplayer game of the year.
I'm not a Tetris fan.
Oh man,
I
I won't play
just want
this.
to point out, talk about a milk franchise.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
It's very milk. But also talk about the fact that how old is Tetris?
It's one of the biggest games.
This
Yeah,
game
if you look
is
at the franchise,
massive.
it's one of the biggest gaming franchises. It's also what they're doing with this. Obviously, that's why they've got it. Is they're looking at their xCloud. They're not looking you to sit on your Xbox. Well, you can do, but I don't think the plan is you sit on your Xbox and play Tetris. I think your plan is to sit on your phone and play Tetris via xCloud. That's what they want you to do.
Talking about xCloud, we forgot to mention this, but when they announced Destiny 2 coming to Game Pass,
Yeah.
they also said that they also referenced xCloud in relation
Yeah.
to that, so you'll be able to play that game on your phone.
Some of the titles I think are purchased or they've got the publishing rights, whatever, mainly because of xCloud, just to promote xCloud and have that on xCloud. So, and Tetris being a massive game, why wouldn't you have that on xCloud? It would be like, you know, having something like Angry Birds or Candy Crush on xCloud. It'd be massive. So, let's move on. The Gunk. We was unsure about this. This is his
There's a
first
lot of
party.
gunk
Every game I'm going to ask if
in
it's
that
first party
show,
because I'm not
yeah.
sure. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's first party either. The
That
Gunk.
wasn't first party, no.
No, the Gunk. Yeah, I'm not too sure about this. Didn't really interest me. I'm sure it will interest some people. It looked a bit odd. It reminded me actually of No Man's Sky, like a better version of No Man's Sky, oddly enough. But yeah, should we skip on? You got anything much to say about this?
Not particularly. Not with the gunk. I mean, it looked like the world looked pretty nice.
Yeah,
To
yeah. The
look at,
graphics
but
are nice.
I don't know, the character model looked a bit odd.
Yeah.
So maybe not really my thing, but who knows?
It looks like you're going around
Um,
the world just clearing up gunk by looks of it with a gun in your hand that sucks up the gunk. So
yeah. I don't have much to say on that. I think it's just one of those games. Like, thank
yeah,
you. Next, I'll probably the more I look into you, the more I may want to play you. But Game Pass, so I'll probably give it a go then anyway, and then might change my mind. And that's what I like
yeah,
about Game Pass is if there's a game I'm like on the fence with, or I might never have to decide to buy it because it's on Game Pass, I'll give it a
yeah,
go.
yeah. Let's move on. The medium. Oh, my thing's shut down. Alright, my Windows is
What's
on.
wrong?
The medium. My Windows thing's all crashed, but it'll come back up.
Is it all working
Here it
now?
comes. It's working now. Yeah, it's kicked back up. Yeah, no, just the word on my screen, not the thingy's cracked out. The medium.
Cool.
Dual reality trailer. The medium finally got gameplay footage that showcased the new dual rendering visuals. You exist in both worlds at the same time and have a navigation both its challenges. The game is only coming to Xbox Series X, so Xbox One owners are out of luck. So this is a game pretty much made just for the Xbox, and this is going to show, as I keep showing about Ratchet and Clank, the dual world stuff you can bounce in between. This is going to do the same, but for the Xbox. You're going to have two games, two realities, where you can flip in between the two. It's been a like to Silent Hill, isn't it? Where you sort of jump
Oh, it
between two
definitely felt like
realities.
Silent Hill.
Yeah, so this is getting loads of praise, and this is first party though, isn't it?
Nope.
What? I've got to get one on right. They need to stamp first
Just
party in the
say
corner
all of
somewhere.
them are first party, and then you'll get one
Yeah,
of Halo was first party, so I guess
yeah,
that is one right.
yeah.
But I think personally I will not play the medium. I will watch someone play the medium. It will be too scary for me. Will not deny I am a bit of a wuss when it
This
comes
is good.
to
But if you,
reality.
yeah,
But it looked really good, and I thought
graphics good.
I
Yeah,
remember you look at Xbox's May event when they did the announcement for the medium.
yeah,
And people were turning around and going, well, why did the devs say this is something that can't be done on previous generation technology? I
mm,
mean, like previous gen consoles. They haven't really explained to us why this can only be done on the next gen systems. I think this trailer really showed people
why?
why it can only be done on next gen because
Yeah, the jumping
they're
between
they're
worlds.
rendering out
Mm,
two different worlds simultaneously at the same
mm,
time that you can move between as freely as you want.
mm,
Tell me, do you think a PS4 can do that? Do you think a PS4 Pro can do that? Or an
mm.
Xbox One or an Xbox One X? Hell no.
No,
They can't. That
this
is
is
why it is
exactly
solely for
yeah.
next gen.
Yeah, it's exactly what PS5 Sony were getting at PS5 Ratchet and Clank. That last generation can't leap between worlds. This is exactly the same example. You're going between two worlds, and it looks absolutely fantastic and fascinating. And it's been Game Pass day one.
It did look. It looked pretty good. It looked pretty good, and I'm like, I will enjoy watching someone else play it because I'll probably
Oh,
have my
coward!
nuts if I played it myself.
Yeah,
But I was quite impressed with it actually, and I think everyone else should be impressed with it. If you like horror games, do
yeah.
do give it a go. I mean, don't just be one of those haters that have just I don't know. Everyone just seems to be hating on the whole show for no reason,
Yeah,
except for
because
proper Xbox fans.
they seem to have watched the Halo clip and then not watched anymore, or they've not paid any attention, or they just it's cut off me. I don't think they've even watched the show. I think the majority have not even watched the show. They're just hating it for hating sake. I don't think any of them actually watched the show and see all the games they showcased. Um, and I think that's what the problem is. They're all jumping on a bandwagon. You've got these stupid YouTubers that create propaganda videos hating on something, and then they've all gone to that channel, and then they're all my things messed up, and then they've all basically just copy pasted what these idiots are saying, and none of them actually watched the show.
It was nice to see in this trailer. I mean, in this showing actual gameplay, and
Yeah,
that was quite cool. Um, to get an idea of what the game is like, and that's where I got those very heavy Silent Hill vibes from.
yeah,
And like you mentioned Silent Hill, I was like, this feels like Silent Hill, and because of that factor, that is creepy AF. I'll probably die inside. So the fact that this trailer creeped the hell out of me, it's a win from me, guys.
yeah.
Keep making that game. You're doing a great job.
Right, let's move on. I have to have adverts up on my screen because otherwise the thing doesn't like it. Bloody adverts. Um, yeah, new Genesis Fantasy Star
All
Online
right.
2. Do we want to move on? This is a massive MMO which is really
Yes.
popular. I bet it's coming to Xbox Day One. If anyone's interested.
I struggled really hard to listen to this trailer, like even watch it. The music was
Yeah,
loud and obnoxious, and it's just annoying. Like I was like, I could play this game if I didn't have to listen to it.
yeah.
But it's not really
If it's in Game Pass
game.
Day One, I think this is a game. I think we should maybe both download it and try it because we tried Unleashed. That was it, wasn't it? Unleashed, Unblessed. The other game. This is
Blessed
MMO.
Unleashed or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Blessed Unleashed. That's it. Yeah,
I will probably play it and then have my own soundtrack in the background.
yeah. But the problem.
So I don't have to listen to that music because that music just was awful
Yeah.
for
I'm just
me,
not.
and it
I'm
really took away from the game.
Yeah. I'm just a bit unsure about these kind of games. I don't like these Final Fantasy sort of layout games, and a lot of them do seem to. As I said, I think when we was watching the show live, I don't like too much of these games when they're too much go fetch, which a lot of the Korean and Japanese MMOs do. They're very, very, very go fetch. Go and do this, go and do that, go and do this, go and kill this mushroom, go and then go and bring me a mushroom, now go and get me 10 mushrooms, now go and get me 20 mushrooms. And it's like, oh man. So it'd be interesting to see what this is like. They usually have really good character customization, but yeah, let's move on to Crossfire X.
campaign footage. So not the
Yeah,
multiplayer, campaign
yeah,
footage.
and this is also coming. This
Uh,
is a timed exclusive. I know that, but it's coming to Xbox a year first, and it's going to Game Pass day one. And this is massive. This looks sort of like a better version of COD, Call of Duty. To be honest, this looks interesting and good. I'll play this. You?
and the studio who's doing it, I think they're doing a really good job with it because
Yeah.
they're the studio that did what? Alan? Was it Alan Wake? Did they do Alan Wake?
No, Remedy did Alan Wake, didn't they?
Yeah, Remedy's doing this.
Oh yeah, it's Remedy. Yeah, it's Remedy. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, yeah, it is.
Alan
That's
Wake.
right. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Quantum
Which is
Break,
which is
all of them.
this is the interesting thing about this as well. What's happened here? Because Remedy did Quantum Break for Xbox, but then they made Control, but give publishing rights to Sony, so Sony got to show Control at their shows and stuff. But now they've sort of gone back to Xbox now, and they're giving this to Xbox first for a year, which is interesting. So they sort of seem to be double dipping on both companies. but
Hey, that's what third parties do.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
what third parties do. You
but
gotta earn. You gotta go where the money is, and you
yeah,
gotta make sure that you are able to look after your staff. So,
yeah,
I understand that. I just wish they went third party. I wish they were first party because I actually really like Remedy.
yeah.
I loved Quantum Break, and I wish we were getting a sequel.
Yeah,
And
some
then
of
we
them
got
got
Control.
hated by the media. Yeah, got hated by the media. Yeah.
All right. After that,
Let's move
we
on.
kind of had them talking about what some of the this gen games that are going to get optimized for Series X, like Forza
Yeah,
Horizon 4 and
yeah,
Gears 5, we are aware of, and Sea of Thieves are all getting
yeah.
optimized.
Sea of Thieves looks
Will be
fantastic, and they showed
patched.
clips of that for Optimize. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And finally,
Move on to the last game.
the best game, in my opinion.
Fable. Let's see if this trailer works on here.
Yeah, sorry to all the Halo fans who everyone thought Halo was the best game, but Fable is my game.
We didn't show
And
gameplay. We didn't show
they
gameplay.
showed no gameplay, and it was a
No.
really short teaser trailer, and I wish there was something else on top of that, but they
Yeah.
could be holding that back to August. But
Yeah.
this showed me that yes, it looks like it'll be a more realistic looking game and a bit more gritty, but
Yeah.
they are keeping that British humour,
Yeah.
that the core part of Fable that made Fable didn't take itself way too seriously
Mm.
when the fairy gets eaten by the toad or the frog,
Just.
whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
That was funny. I was like, yes,
Yeah.
it's gonna have humor in it. That's all I needed to know. You can go make anything you want on Fable as long as it's got humor in it.
Yeah.
And another game where it's like, give me a sword, give me magic. You sold me right then and there.
Yeah.
So it's my it turned the show for me from an 8 to an 8.5. I really want to say 9, but then I'm also like thinking of my initial watch through of the show, and it was a bit choppy with the stream, and
Yeah. Stream was bad.
it wouldn't have been
Yeah.
so bad if we
Been
hadn't
slowly
had
watching
all
it.
E3 and 3 and there was all
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
pandemic and everything like that. So I'm probably being a bit critical for myself, overly critical on that factor, but it's definitely an 8.5.
Yeah.
And Fable, if it was just standalone Fable by itself and it's not its own show, Fable is a like 11 out of 10 for me, guys.
Yeah. Yeah. I think. Yeah.
That
This
that
is
was that was my
Fables.
game of the
Yeah.
show,
We won't be getting
and
this
then next
anytime
would have
soon.
been Everwild.
Yeah. I think we're getting this. So let's have a quick roundup then. So you score it 8.5 the show?
Yes.
I'm going to score it probably, I'm thinking more of a 7.5 and 8, I would say.
Why?
Yes.
Why 7.5 and 8?
Right, so I can understand why they did it, but I was a bit put off they didn't show any Hellblade 2 gameplay. We didn't see anything
Yeah.
by the initiative, which I was hoping for, but I can see why they're doing it now because they are probably holding off for the August. But they didn't show any
Also,
games by the initiative.
they also
They
announced they weren't going to show anything from the initiative
did
prior
they?
to that.
Oh right,
Yeah.
okay. Probably, yeah, as I said, probably held back then for August, I imagine, because there is a Perfect Dark rumours on Perfect Dark. There's rumours on Ninja Gaiden. There's been quite a few rumours. You don't know if they're rumours now or if they are going to happen. There was a couple of shock games, like State of Decay 3 was a massive shock. That was a massive secret, kept shocked. That was good. That pulls the score up. So I think what pulls the score down really from a 10, I'll never give a 10 anyway, so what pulls the score down from a 9 would be probably the streaming. This is the problem. This is why I prefer E3. This is why we should carry on having conferences. I think the digital events are great and easy and save money, but I don't think they have the quality as a stage event. I just don't think they do.
I agree.
And I think they should go back to stage events. They're just much better quality. They work better. There's just less issues of them, and you can see the games much better. I think when the stage, and it has much more presence and stuff like that. I just think watching it in a digital event, I just think it just doesn't have the excitement as it does on stage for whatever reason.
Yep. And I love the fact that we're getting all this, like, every so often we'll get, like, this person releases this news and this news and this news in gaming, but I'm like, I like the E3 where I can take a week off from work and sit down and get all my news that I need to get in 1 week, rather than go, oh, can I have a day off here or half a day off here?
Yeah.
I haven't been having any days off to watch this stuff, so, like, my work's been suffering because I've been, like, so tired. But, you know, it happens.
But all in all, a good show. Halo looked exactly as I thought it looked like. It looked good, and it looked everything I expected to the games. I'll be definitely, it's going to be a launch title, so I'm definitely hyped for actually seeing gameplay, and it looks good for a launch title. It makes you want to buy an Xbox Series X, because Xbox Series X is going to have the power, it's going to be good, and then you can actually see what games are going to be played in it, and it's going to be a massive campaign. It's going to be at least a 20-hour campaign, so there's lots to look forward to. And then some of the games, like State of Decay, was a massive shock. That's brilliant. Yeah, and obviously show Fable, but yeah, I'd give it 7.5, possibly an 8.
Wow. See, I feel like I'm being reserved and conservative, giving it an 8.5. But, like, honestly, just hype Fable is enough to give me, like, by itself. Fable adjacent from the show. Fable's, like I said, 11.
I never played any of the Fable games, so yeah.
Well, you're not that big on the single player narrative games, but they do have co-op in them, so I guess that makes them more fun. What I really enjoyed about Fable 3 is, like, you could jump into someone else's world and, like, kill everyone in it.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Yes. And then they would feed.
I'm gonna have to play the game.
To get all the achievements, you could literally do all these weird stuff. Like, I had different game worlds, so I had an evil world where I'd be like, I'd let people come into that world and kill who they wanted so they could get certain achievements, because I was like, you are not doing it on my pristine first save, because that game is going to be perfect. I've got all the good choices, everything like that. And that's what Fable is. It's a choice game.
Can you imagine you trying to play the game and you're trying to get all the achievements and someone comes in and kills a character, so you can't get the achievement?
They can't kill your character, but they can kill people.
No, I mean, that's what I mean. Kill
innocent people.
To stop, to stop you from getting an achievement. So have you got an achievement where no one gets killed or something like
that? You get like achievements for doing certain things. I can't remember. Like, you get an achievement. There's a Henry VIII achievement where you, like, kill some of your spouses. Horrible thing to be talking about on stream, but and you get a Henry VIII achievement. There's some interesting achievements in that game.
Are they enhanced the games? Because I'm thinking about playing them now.
Are they what?
Enhanced. Is there an enhanced version for Xbox X?
So they aren't enhanced in the sense, like, I think number 2 maybe looks a little better with the backwards compatibility. Number 1, I think they did a anniversary edition.
Because they're all in Game Pass, aren't they?
So that was what's it? Remaster. I would say remake technically, but remaster. And then number 3, I think that might look a little better to play on the 1X for the backwards compatibility. But they're 360 games at the end of the day, but no one's playing them for that reason. They're playing them for the experience that is Fable.
I'm gonna have to play them. I'm gonna have to give them a go before this Fable comes out. Right, should we round it up there then?
Yeah.
That was a good show. Just over an hour for above a couple of minutes. So thank you all for watching. Please like, share, and sub, and share it out on Twitter wherever you can. Red Dead, do you want to promote your channel? I'll put a link to your channel again. into the end of this.
Yep.
And like, did the last one work? Did it? What I did?
It did work. It did work. So you can find me on YouTube at REDDEAD PANDA Gaming. I have. I'm making the pledge of a video out every week, minimum one video out every week, guys. I'm trying to stay away from rumors because they're rumors at the end of the day, and I don't want people to get false hopes or
Yeah,
have to
we don't do
backtrack
rumors.
on anything. It's not really important. Rumors, you know. Official facts, guys. It's about the facts. And then you can also find me on Twitter at REDDEADPANDA 1. It's got a 1 after it. I am always on there posting things. I'm trying to not make it too Xbox centric, but it is Xbox centric, let's be honest. But I am trying to be fair to PlayStation and other consoles.
Yeah. Well, Xbox is our preferred system. If you don't like that, get over it. But anyone, people watching this, everyone's gonna have a preference. You're gonna prefer, I prefer Adidas to Nike, for example. Does it mean I hate Nike? No, I just prefer Adidas. And I think that's like everything in life, really, doesn't it? Yeah, exactly. But it doesn't mean you don't wear any other colours. You only wear green, does it? I hate all colours other than green.
I literally only wear green. No, I live in
yeah, imagine it.
Basically, in our country, all we wear is black. Like the rugby team, the All Blacks.
Yeah.
It's basically how New Zealanders live.
Oh,
all in black.
Right, so we'll leave it there now because I'm getting more and more adverts pop up on my screen now. Christ, these media things, bloody hell, you can't watch anything now about them advertising themselves. So thank you.
Thank you, Elite, for having me.
No, thank you for being on the show. I still want to say then. And goodbye, everyone. Ta-ra.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.